Okay, greetings. In this video, we're starting a new project. This is a commercial building project, and the way I'm presenting this is I'm going to show you how to do things, but I'm not going to show you how to design your commercial project. Of course, you can choose various different things, such as the little shopping mall, the strip mall that a lot of people choose, or a restaurant, a store, anything like that. An office building. We're primarily going to be working in one story for now. We can move to multiple stories later. But anyway, we want to click on New and choose a structural template. Alright, and the first thing we'll do, of course, is establish our grid system. Your grid system would be based off the size of your building. The grid system would come in just a little bit shy of the overall size of your building when we're talking about like maybe a foot all the way around. And that too depends on how it's designed. That could vary. But for this exercise, if you want to follow along, I am going to place some grids, establish my grid system at, my grids are going to be 25 feet apart. And that too is something that's a variable that is determined by your engineer. They will know what to do based on steel and concrete calculations. And there are a plethora of them that they must go through. And we're not going to do that on this video. Okay, and what I'm going to do is finish placing these, and then as soon as I get them all placed, I'll be right back, and then you can pick up right where I finished. And just like magic, I have a grid system. So once you have your grid system, if you're doing something different than me, or if you're following along, all of these steps will be the same. I want to place some footings for my grid system. And to do that, I am just going to use a standard size footing. I'm not going to do any crazy calculations or anything, but I'm going to go into structure. Nope, I forgot. Before I place those footings, let me go backwards. I go into my south view. You can go into any view that you want to, but what we need to do is add a few more layers, or 2 more layers at least. First, I will stretch my grids down so I can see them. And so they intersect with all of my levels. I'm going to place this level as a footing level, and I'm going to place that 4 feet below level 1. So 4 feet underground. That's done with a -4. Then I'm going to place one 4 feet above the ceiling. That's going to be kind of like an attic space, place to run all my wires and things like that for this small structure. I'm an eat freak, so I gotta finish that out. And I want to rename these levels. This one is going to be footing, and this one, yes, I want to rename the views. This one will be named roof. Okay, and there we go. And you can also, if you feel like there is a better method of you naming level 1 and level 2, go right ahead. Some people call them top of slab and things like that. Let me kind of bring these in just a little bit. Alright, so there are my new levels. Now let's go to level 1, and we will place some footings here, and actually I can place those on the footing levels. A lot easier to do it like that. Whoops, I'm missing some of my grid lines, so let's go back up to level 1. Click on that again. I'm not sure why those the grids don't show up on both levels, but let's just go ahead and come to level 1. We can do it from either level, and what I'm going to do is choose an isolated footing to put around the exterior lines of my grid. So I will click, and then I will edit type, and I will duplicate this one, and I will call it I'm just going to call it 5 by 5 by 18 for 5 foot by 5 foot by 18 inches. Okay, so the foundation thickness is already 18 inches. I don't need to worry about that, but I'm going to change this one to 5. And I'm going to change this one to 5 feet. And there we go. We have a footing. I'm going to click OK. All right, and there is quick ways to do this. We can use this at grids, and we can select, don't want to select 100% of the grids. I want to select all the ones across the top, getting both the horizontal and the vertical. Then I'm going to hold the control button down and just select the bottom. Okay, that way I get grids just at the top and the bottom. I click finish, and then I can place these manually. All right, and actually I have to go backwards because I did not watch and see how my levels were set in my properties. Should be something that you should always do, but you can always go back and fix it. So I'm going to select that pad, and I'm going to select all instances and entire project, and I'm going to move those down to the footing level. So now they're at footing level. That's a good thing. All right, now I'm going to place a couple more footings on the interior. These are going to be interior footings. These footings are actually going to come up to level 1. So choosing my isolated footings again, I've got the same footing attached to my cursor, and it is already set at level 1, so I'm going to set these interior at level 1. Now, of course, that also varies. That could be done in many different ways. Just about everything I'm going to do here is going to vary depending on the engineering that takes place. All right, so those are my footings. Now I want to put on piers on top of those footings. To do that, I'm going to choose column and structural, concrete rectangular. And we can start with this 12 by 18, and we're going to actually create a, what do we want? I think we want an 18 by 18. I took some notes here earlier. Let's see, what did I write down? Yeah, 18 by 18. So let's go. We have let's go to edit type, and we're going to rename, duplicate and rename. It's going to be 18 by 18. And then we just change this first dimension to 18. The other one is fine, just like it is. Click OK. All right, now looking at our levels, sometimes this part confuses me sometimes. Let's see. What we have, depth, that means it's going to go underground. Great. Footing, I think that means where the base of the pier is supposed to be. Sometimes I wonder if it's not reading a different way, but let's go ahead and try it, see what we'll come up with, and then of course we can further edit it after that. So I'm going to click the at grids, and then I'm going to select all of my grids, and as you can see I have piers on all of those footings. Okay, and I'm going to click finish. All right, and let's take a look at those piers in 3D view. So let's click on a new 3D view. Okay, so far so good. That's what I'm looking for right there. Maybe I'll see once I start putting my columns in what that's going to look like. So the columns should actually come to the top of all of those piers. And actually, I don't need piers on the interior, so I need to get rid of the interior piers, just on the exterior. So going back up to level 1, now I want to place some beams. And, okay, not beams, why did I say beams? I want to place columns, more columns. But this time I'm going to choose the steel column. and we will use a 14 by 43. And to understand what that is talking about, we'll go into edit type. We're not going to edit anything. We're going to keep it just like it is. But the 14 by 43, what that is telling you is that my width of the beam is 14, or no, the height of my beam is 14. As you see here, it's actually 13.7, okay? But the 14 is its nominal size. Basically in name only, but this little picture that pops up shows you how it's being measured. Okay, so the height of that beam, if you can recall what a beam looks like, that's what it's measuring from that that bottom wedge to the top wedge. I guess that's what you would call it. Of course, the width, on the other hand, is different. The width is not mentioned in the actual nominal name, but the width is the actual width of that stream of beam, or that stretch of beam. The 40, or actually 43 in this case, comes from the nominal weight. Now, the nominal weight is the unit per foot weight, or the per unit weight. In this case, it's going to be 43 pounds per foot, but that's where that name comes from. And I will click OK to close that down. And I am going to, these are going to be at a height, not a depth, and they're going to go up to the roof. And there's no base constraint on here, so we're going to go ahead and place them and see. We'll go back and check our work in a moment. Okay, so again, using that same tool, we're going to cross all of these, but then we'll go back and deselect, holding the shift button down, I think, and deselect those two. But then, yeah, that should be right. Okay, and then click finish. And then I have to manually place one on these, I think. Let's go take a look. Let's look in 3D again. Okay, so actually they placed just perfectly. So we can actually finish it out from here. And maybe we can. No, I think we better go up to the level 1 to finish that out. Okay, so I need to place those, one here, one here, and I can't see what I'm doing. That's because I don't have my range, my view range set properly. And actually, you can see on these that I do have a beam. You know, maybe it isn't the program. Maybe it's me. All right, so let's go back to structure, and that's what I needed to do. I needed to reselect columns. Now bring that column here. I keep calling them beams, I know, but it's just kind of generic name for that. And place one there, and place one here. Okay, now I'm going to place these. I don't know how they're going to behave. We'll have to go and check to make sure that their base is connected to level 1. Oh, actually they should be the same because the piers are all the same level. The piers come up to level 1, so we should be good to go there. Now we can go into 3D view and again check out our handiwork. And everything is almost good. Okay, so these foundations, these foundation slabs or whatever, footings, did not go to the correct level, the ones that are on the inside. So I'll have to change those, and I'll just select those 4 and place those. It says at level 1, okay, but it says a height offset of -4. Okay, so Revit thought it knew what it was doing. Now I want to make it 0. And now those interior footings are at level 1. Okay, and that's basically, they'll still be covered in you know, concrete and stuff, and but they'll come right there to level 1. All right, so it looks like we are good to go thus far. So we're already at 14 minutes, so I will stop this video, give you some time to absorb all that. I'll come back and make another video, and I will show you how to do the stem walls that go all the way around the exterior, and then also the bearing footings.